Number 1, the law of cause and effect. Everything happens for a reason. There is a cause for every effect. This law is the iron law of human destiny. This law says that we live in a world governed by law, not chance. It says that everything happens for a reason, whether or not we know what it is. Every effect, success or failure, wealth or poverty, has a specific cause or causes. Every cause or action has an effect or consequence of some kind or another, whether we can see it or whether we like it or not. This law of cause and effect says that all achievement, all wealth, all happiness, prosperity, and success are the direct and indirect effects or results of specific causes or actions. What this means is, if you can be clear about the effect or result you want, you can probably achieve it. You can study others who have accomplished the same goal, and by doing what they did, you can get the same results. The law of cause and effect applies to money as much as to any other subject. This law says that financial success is an effect. As such, it proceeds from certain specific causes. When you identify these causes and implement them in your own life and activities, you'll get the same effects that hundreds of thousands and even millions of others have gotten before you. You can acquire whatever amount of money you really want if you'll just do what others have done before you to achieve the same results. And if you don't, you won't. It's as simple as that. The most important expression of this universal law is that thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. Put another way, thought is creative. Your thoughts are the primary creative forces in your life. You create your entire world by the way you think. All the people and situations of your life today have been created by your own thinking or attracted to you by your own thinking. And when you change your thinking, you change your life, sometimes in seconds. The most important principle of personal or business success is simply this: you become what you think about most of the time. It's not what happens to you, but how you think about what happens to you that determines how you feel and react. It is not the world outside of you that dictates your circumstances or conditions. It's the world inside of you that creates the conditions of your life. Specifically, it is the way you think about money and about your financial situation that largely determines your financial conditions today. Accurate diagnosis is half the cure. Look at the most important parts of your life, your family, your health, your work, your financial situation, and observe the cause-effect relationships between what you think, say, feel, and do, and the results you are getting. Be honest with yourself.
Welcome once again to Speed Seduction, Methods and Masters. Well, today I am very privileged and thrilled to be doing what perhaps could be the most interesting of these interviews. Our guest today is Rick H. Rick H., for those of you familiar with Speed Seduction lore, is the student who set the world's record by banging 5 women at the same time. That's right. Brother Rick did indeed get 5 very hot women, not just into bed, but they were all over the place, yes?
Yep.
They were like in the jacuzzi and the couch.
I don't think there was a room or indoors or outdoors that was not utilized to its full potential.
And that's what we call better home and garden. Well, let's just get some preliminary information out of the way, information about you. For those who have not met you, have not been to a seminar or otherwise encountered you. Just right out of the chute, I don't think you're the typical student, if there is a typical student, because you're what a lot of people would consider to be a good-looking guy. You have money. You've always done well with women. Is that true?
That's true.
I mean, for example, when you were in college, before you knew anything about speed seduction, what was your typical success with women like in, say, a given month?
I would do a girl every probably week and a half, something like that, a new one.
That's pretty good. And you were in a frat, so you've
I
always done
was
well.
Social chairman of the fraternity. You know, I had lots of access to girls. I was the guy that was throwing all the fun parties.
If you back up prior to that, in high school, though, tell me the story about your high school years, because you were actually a virgin in high school till what point? Tell that story.
In high school, unfortunately, I listened to my mother, who gave me a whole bunch of information on how to supplicate really well. And so I went through high school, and of course she also absolutely terrified me about sex.
What did she tell you?
Well, I was raised Catholic, so of course, all the guilt and, this is wrong and you shouldn't do this, and all the typical societal ideas that we encounter now as obstacles were the same ones that I were raised with. So
right.
It was, and I believe this. My parents never lied to me before, and so
right.
So
just in this one critical issue,
just in this one critical area, they were full of shit. And so I had this, this fear of sex. I mean, it was built up to be this enormous.
Now, those of us who know you, who've seen you in action, this is impossible to believe. It's like me saying I had a fear of money. I mean, it's like
I assure you, it was absolutely true. And now the funny part is that in grammar school, I was a total nerd. I was. My father, of course, was, he's essentially a workaholic. He works a whole lot.
Right.
I'm the only child, so I didn't have any males to teach me sports.
Right.
I sucked in sports, so I was the last kid picked on all the teams.
So was I.
After the athletic girls, which was pretty bad. So coming out of this frame in high school, there was a brand new sport, wrestling. Became very dedicated to that, and suddenly became a jock. So I mean, imagine the dichotomy of this. I go from total nerd to jock, just like that.
Just like that.
And now suddenly, because I have a Letterman's jacket, all these girls in high school like me, and I'm getting lots of dates. I would basically go out with these girls 2, 3, 4 times, and actually do exactly the right thing. I mean, I would play aloof. I would do the takeaways. I was doing all the things, not because I had any idea what I was doing, just because I was totally terrified. And then after 3 or 4 dates, I expected that the next time I was absolutely going to have sex with them if I went out with them again. There was no way out of it. So then I would dump them and go out with the next girl.
You bail.
Now, the funny part about this is how it backfired on me, because what happened is that these girls started telling their girlfriends that they did sleep with me because I was a jock.
Right.
And of course they would ask me and I would deny it. I would say, no, I didn't sleep with her. Well, nobody believed me, of course. And soon, the more I got this reputation as a player, the more girls wanted to go out with me, the quicker they wanted to have sex with me. And the more I had to go on to the next one. So it built, and then of course now I have this reputation as this amazing lover, and I'm a virgin, and I'm denying this whole thing, and so now there's
Dude,
no.
You have a weird
way.
life coming out of the chute.
there's like no way I can have sex now. So finally I found a girlfriend at another school and solved the problem and
never looked back.
Then went on to college and got involved in the fraternity, and then I got a little bit better frame on what the right way to do this was. But
so just very good. Now painting in just broad brushstrokes. We're going to get to your specific techniques, and you're going to tell some of the stories. In fact, I'd like you to tell the story here of how you banged those 5 women at the same time.
Okay.
But just drawing in very broad brushstrokes, just for a moment. How do you compare the success you had in college when you were getting a different girl like every week or every week and a half to how you're doing now that you have the tools of speed seduction at your disposal?
I'm doing much better now. I have the thing is that when I was getting these girls every week and a half in college, sometimes they were very plain, very average. Sometimes they were cute. It was haphazard. There was no systematic avenue of doing it. It was, okay, we'd be at a party, I'd hook up with them, the whole thing. Well, I'm 33 years old now. I mean, I can't work the college, there's a party at the frat house thing tonight.
Right.
And also the my whole approach there was fairly limited to that one aspect. I mean, meeting girls in the other aspect, my whole goal would be to target them into my kill zone, so to speak. I mean,
take them into the frat party.
Right, exactly, or into that environment. Well, now I have a versatility where I'm actually much better in any other environment than the one that I was formerly good at. The less they're drinking, the less they're partying, the more I have their attention, the better off it is.
Right.
Also, the level of girls that I'm dating now is much higher, and the girls I'm dating now are all bisexual. So that
you only date bisexual women, is that correct?
Right.
That's one of your gimmicks. And we're going to talk about seducing bisexual women and multiple partners and all that stuff. But one of the things I think that's always been true about you is you have what I call opportunity eyes. You will see opportunities where other guys only see blocks. And let me give you an example. This is a story you told me about your college years, that you would wait till final exams. And then tell the folks at home listening what you would do the night before final exams.
The night before final exams, I would get a whole group of people, and we would go out partying. Rather than studying, I would build this all the time. As the years went on, it got to be a bigger and bigger group. They would follow me out and say, let's forget this. Let's go have a good time. We're gonna have the best time. We're gonna blow off all this steam. We're gonna be totally relaxed for the test tomorrow.
Now, hang on a minute. Whereas the average frustrated chump would go, well, no girl's going to go out with me tonight. She's got to study for exams. You're thinking the exact opposite. You're thinking, shit, the last thing these girls want to do is more studying. So what would you tell these girls to get them to go home with you from the bar? You do that speech the right thing and the wrong thing.
First of all, I'd get them out. I'd say, what you really need is to take a break. Get away from this. You've been studying hard. You need to get out and relax. So we go out and we'd have a few drinks, and then inevitably they would start to think about their test. And I would say, well, that's right. The thing that you should do is you should go home and you should get a good night's rest and maybe wake up early in the morning and squeeze in a few last minutes of study before your test.
That'd be the right thing.
That would be the right thing. The wrong thing to do would be to forget all that, to stay here with me, have another drink, and then go back, get into my jacuzzi, and make incredible love.
Would you do it with that kind of tonality even then, that kind of pausing?
I would. No, I didn't have that kind of tonality. Although what I would do is I would speak slower than normal.
Right.
I didn't have the pauses. I didn't have.
But you did have the tempo.
I had the tempo. I would slow down when I was trying to get them to do something. And surprisingly enough, it was amazingly effective. Well, I mean, in hindsight, I think about it. They have all this stress.
Right.
They've had a couple of drinks. Still, they're it's loosened them up a little bit. They're worried about exams, and they don't want to think about exams. What they want to do is they want to have a good time.
All right.
And so all I was doing is creating an opportunity for them to do exactly what they wanted to do anyway.
Right. Now, this is something I think is a real key to how you do what you do, and your key is not just the techniques. Partially, I think a great part of it is seeing opportunities where other people don't see opportunities, where other people see these girls just want to study. If I asked them out tonight, they'd be too busy. Rick is going, no, opportunity. What they really want to do is blow this all off and have some fun. I think part of the skill of what you do is you always have what I call those opportunity eyes open.
Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and welcome to this program. One of your major goals in life should be financial independence. You must aim to reach the point where you have enough money so that you never have to worry about money again. The good news is that financial independence is easier to achieve today than it has ever been before. We live in the richest country at the richest time in all of human history. We are surrounded by more wealth and affluence than ever before. Your goal should be to participate fully in what many people are starting to refer to as the golden age of mankind. Money has an energy of its own, and it is largely attracted to people who treat it well. Money tends to flow toward those people who can use it in the most productive ways to produce valuable goods and services, and who can invest it to create employment and opportunities that benefit others. At the same time, money flows away from those who use it poorly or who spend it in non-productive ways. Your job is to acquire as much money as you honestly can, and then to use that money to enhance the quality of your life and the lives of the people you care about. Here now are the 21 absolutely unbreakable laws of money. Number 2, the law of belief. This law says that whatever you truly believe with feeling becomes your reality. This law says that you always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs, especially your beliefs about yourself. Your beliefs act like a set of filters that screen out information that is inconsistent with them. You do not necessarily believe what you see, but rather you see what you already believe. You reject information that contradicts what you have already decided to believe, whether or not your beliefs, your prejudices, are based on fact or fantasy. This is especially true with regard to money. The best belief that you can develop within yourself is that you are destined to be a big success financially. When you are absolutely convinced that you are a financial success in the making, you will engage in the behaviors that will make it come true. The worst beliefs you can have are self-limiting beliefs. These exist whenever you believe yourself to be limited in some way. The fact is that no one is better than you, and no one is smarter than you. If someone else is doing better, it is largely because he or she has developed his or her natural talents more than you have. He or she has learned the laws of cause and effect that apply to his or her life and finances before you have. But anything anyone else has done within reason, you can probably do as well. You just need to learn how. What one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew you could not fail? If you had no limitations, if you had all the time, money, talent, skills, and contacts that you could ever want, what would you want to do or be or have in your life? Number 3, the law of expectations. This law says that whatever you expect with confidence becomes your own self-fulfilling prophecy. You are always acting as a fortune teller in your own life by the way you think and talk about how things are going to turn out. When you confidently expect good things to happen, good things usually happen to you. If you expect something negative to happen, you are usually not disappointed. Wealthy people expect to be rich. Successful people expect to be successful. Happy, popular people expect to be happy and popular. And your expectations are largely under your control. So expect the best of yourself. Imagine that you have unlimited abilities and that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. Imagine that your future is only limited by your own imagination, and that whatever you have accomplished up to now, it is only a fraction of what you are truly capable of achieving. Imagine that your greatest moments lie ahead, and that everything that has happened to you up to now has merely been a preparation for the great things that are yet to come. Number 4, the law of attraction. This is a great law. It says that you are a living magnet. It says that you invariably attract into your life the people, situations, and circumstances that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. This is one of the great laws that explains much of success and failure in business and personal life. It says that everything you have in your life today, you have attracted to yourself because of the way you think. You can change your life because you can change the way you think. When you develop a burning desire for financial success and think about it all the time, you set up a force field of positive emotional energy that attracts people, ideas, and opportunities into your life to help you make your goals into realities. Look at your financial life today and see how it harmonizes with your thinking. Take full credit for all the good things in your life. They are there because you have attracted them to yourself. Then, look around you at the things you don't like and take full responsibility for them as well. They're there because of you as well, because of some flaw in your own thinking. What is that flaw, and what are you going to do about it? Number 5, the law of correspondence. This law says that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, and it corresponds with your dominant patterns of thinking. Now, this is an extraordinary principle. This law explains most happiness and unhappiness, most success and failure, most greatness and meanness in life. After years of study in this area, I still stand in awe before this powerful law, like standing and looking out over the vastness of the Grand Canyon. Just think, your outer world reflects your inner world in every way. Nothing can happen to or for you in the long term until and unless it corresponds to something inside of you. Therefore, if you want to change or improve anything in your life, you must begin by changing the inner aspects of your mind. Sometimes this is called your mental equivalent. Your greatest responsibility in life is to create within yourself the mental equivalent of what you want to experience on the outside. The fact is that you cannot achieve it on the outside until you have first created it on the inside. It's very much as though your life is a 360-degree mirror. Wherever you look, there you are. Your relationships, for example, always reflect back to you the kind of person you are on the inside. Your attitude, your health, and your financial conditions are a reflection of the way you think most of the time. The law of correspondence is a foundation principle of virtually all religions and all schools of thought. It's really great news, actually. It is the key to personal freedom and happiness. It's the key to great success and fulfillment. There's only one thing in the world that you can control, and that is the way you think. However, when you take complete control over your thinking, you take control over all the other aspects of your life at the same time. By thinking and talking only about what you want, and by refusing to think or talk about what you don't want, you become the architect of your own destiny. You create your own world. Law number 6 is the law of abundance. This law says that we live in an abundant universe in which there is sufficient money for all who really want it and who are willing to obey the laws governing its acquisition. What this means is that there is plenty of money available to you. There is no real shortage. You can have virtually all you really want and need. We live in a generous universe, and we are surrounded on all sides by blessings and opportunities to acquire all we truly desire. Your attitude of either abundance or scarcity toward money will have a major impact on whether you become rich or not. The first corollary of the law of abundance says that people become wealthy because they decide to become wealthy. Individuals become wealthy because they believe they have the ability to become wealthy. Because they believe this completely, they act accordingly. They consistently do the things that turn their beliefs into realities. The second corollary of the law of abundance says, people are poor because they have not yet decided to become rich. In the book The Instant Millionaire by Mark Fisher, the old millionaire asks the boy who has sought his advice about becoming a millionaire, "Why aren't you rich already?" This is an important question to ask yourself. However you answer this question will reveal a lot about yourself to yourself. Your answers will expose your self-limiting beliefs, your doubts, your fears, your favorite excuses, your rationalizations, and your justifications. Why aren't you rich already? Write down all the reasons you can think of. Go over your answers one by one with someone who knows you well and ask them for their opinion. You may be surprised to find that your reasons are mostly excuses that you have fallen in love with. Whatever your reasons or excuses, you can now get rid of them. The world is full of hundreds and thousands of people who have had far more difficulties to overcome than you could ever imagine. And they've gone on to be successful anyway. And so can you. Number 7 is the law of exchange. This law says that money is the medium through which people exchange their labor in the production of goods and services for the goods and services of others. Before there was money, there was barter. In barter, people exchanged goods and services directly for goods and services without the medium of money. As civilizations grew and barter became too clumsy, people found that they could exchange their goods and services into a medium, like coins, which they could then exchange for the goods and services of others, thereby making the whole process more efficient. Today, we go to work and exchange our work for money, which we then use to purchase the results of the work of other people. The first corollary of the law of exchange says, money is a measure of the value that people place on goods and services. It's only what a person will pay that determines the value of something. Goods and services do not have a value separate and apart from what someone is willing to pay for them. All value is therefore subjective and based on the thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and opinions of the prospective purchaser at the moment of the buying decision. The second corollary of this law says, your labor is viewed as a factor of production or a cost by others. We each have the tendency to look upon the sweat of our brow or our work as something special because it is so intensely personal. It comes from us and is an expression of what we are as a person. However, as far as others are concerned, our labor is just a cost. As intelligent consumers, as employers or customers, we all want the very most for the very least, no matter whose labor is involved. For this reason, you cannot place an objective or fixed value on your own labor. It is only what other people are willing to pay for your labor in a competitive market that determines what you earn and what you are worth in financial terms. The third corollary of this law says, the amount of money you earn is the measure of the value that others place on your contribution. The way the market for labor of any kind works is simple. You will always be paid in direct proportion to three factors: the work you do, how well you do it, and the difficulty of replacing you. How much you are paid will be in direct proportion to the quantity and quality of your contribution in comparison with the contributions of others, combined with the value that other people place on your contributions. The fourth corollary of the law of exchange says, money is an effect, not a cause. Your work or contribution to the value of a product or service is the cause, and the wage, salary, or earnings that you receive is the effect. If you wish to increase the effect, the money, you have to increase the cause, the value that you put in. The fifth corollary of the law of exchange says that to increase the amount of money you are getting out, you must increase the value of the work that you are putting in. To earn more money, you must add more value. You must increase your knowledge or increase your skill or improve your work habits or work longer and harder hours or work more creatively. Law number 8 is the law of capital. This law says that your most valuable asset in terms of cash flow is your physical and mental capital, your earning ability. You may not even be aware that unless you are wealthy already, your ability to work is the most valuable asset that you have. By utilizing your earning ability to its fullest, you can bring thousands of dollars each year into your life. By applying your earning ability to the production of valuable goods and services, you can generate sufficient money to pay for all the things that you want in life. The amount of money that you are paid today is a direct measure of the extent to which you have developed your earning ability so far. The first corollary of the law of capital says, your most precious resource is your time. Your time is really all you have to sell. How much time you put in and how much of yourself you put into that time largely determines your earning ability. Poor time management is one of the major reasons for poor productivity and underachievement in every industry in America. It is the #1 problem for both managers and salespeople in every field. The second corollary of the law of capital says that time and money can be either spent or invested. To a certain degree, your time and money are interchangeable. If you spend them, they're gone forever. You cannot get them back. They become sunk costs or lost costs in your life. On the other hand, you can invest them, in which case you get a return on them that can go on and on. If you invest your time or your money in becoming more knowledgeable and better skilled, you can increase your value. By increasing your ability to get results for yourself and others, you increase your earning ability, your personal cash flow, sometimes for the rest of your career. One of the smartest things that you can do is to invest 3% of your income every month back into yourself on personal and professional development, on becoming better at the most important things you do. There's nothing that will give you a bigger and better bang for your buck than reinvesting some of your time and money back into your capability to earn even more. All wealthy and successful people have learned this sooner or later, and all poor and unhappy people are still trying to figure it out. The third corollary of the law of capital says that one of the best investments of your time and money is to increase your earning ability. The purpose of corporate strategic planning is to increase return on equity, or ROE. This requires organizing and reorganizing corporate activities so that the company is earning a higher return on the capital invested in the organization. In your work life, your personal equity is your mental and emotional capital. Your job then is to earn the highest possible return on your human capital, to increase your return on energy. Identify the things you do in your work that represent the highest value uses of your time. Focus more and more of your time on doing those things that represent the greatest contribution you can make to the most important results that you can achieve. Continually look for ways to increase your return on energy. The ninth law is the law of time perspective. This law says that the most successful people in any society are those who take the longest time period into consideration when making their day-to-day decisions. The higher a person rises in any society, the longer is the time perspective or time horizon of that person. People at the highest social and economic levels make decisions and sacrifices today that may not pay off for many years, sometimes not even in their lifetimes. People with long time perspectives are willing to pay the price of success for a long, long time before they achieve it. They think about the consequences of their financial choices and decisions in terms of what they might mean in 5, 10, 15, and even 20 years from now. People at the lowest levels of society, unfortunately, have the shortest time perspectives. They focus primarily on immediate gratification and often engage in financial behaviors that are virtually guaranteed to lead to indebtedness, poverty, and financial problems in the long term, and usually in the short term as well. You begin to move up socially and financially from the very day that you begin thinking about what you are doing in terms of the possible long-term consequences of your actions. As you begin thinking longer term and organizing your financial life and priorities with your future goals and ambitions in mind, the quality of your decisions improve and your life starts to become better almost immediately. The first corollary of the law of time perspective says, delayed gratification is the key to financial success. Your ability to practice self-mastery, self-control, and self-denial to sacrifice in the short term so that you can enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the starting point of developing a long time perspective. This attitude is essential to financial achievement of any kind. The second corollary of the law of time perspective says, self-discipline is the most important quality for assuring long-term success. Self-discipline was defined by Elbert Hubbard many years ago as the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Your ability to discipline yourself to pay the price of success in advance and to continue paying it until you achieve the goal you have set is the true mark of the winning human being. The third corollary of this law of time perspective says that sacrifice in the short term is the price you pay for security in the long term. The key word here is sacrifice. When you resist the temptation to do things that are fun and easy, and instead discipline yourself to do the things that are hard and necessary, you develop in yourself the kind of character that virtually guarantees you a better life in the future. When you continually invest your time and money in improving yourself rather than frittering it away in idle socializing or watching television, you are putting yourself on the side of the angels. You are virtually guaranteeing your future. Law number 10 is the law of saving. This law says that financial freedom comes to the person who saves 10% or more of his income throughout his lifetime. One of the smartest things that you can do is to develop the habit of saving part of your salary every single paycheck. Individuals, families, and even societies are stable and prosperous to the degree to which they have high savings rates. Savings today are what guarantee the security and possibilities of tomorrow. The first corollary of the law of saving comes from the book The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. It is this: pay yourself first. Begin today to save 10% of your income off the top and never touch it. This becomes your fund for long-term financial accumulation, and you never use it for any other reason except to assure your financial future. The remarkable thing is that when you pay yourself first and force yourself to live on the other 90%, you soon become accustomed to it. You see, you are a creature of habit. When you regularly put away 10% of your income, you soon become very comfortable. You soon develop the habit of living on the other 90%. Many people start by saving 10% of their income and then move to saving 15%, 20%, and even more. And their financial lives change dramatically as a result. So will yours. The second corollary of the law of savings says that you should take advantage of tax-deferred savings and investment plans. Because of high tax rates, money that is saved or invested without incurring taxes accumulates at a rate of 30% to 40% faster than money that is subject to taxation. So you should invest in company pension and retirement plans, 401k plans, IRAs, KEO plans, Roth IRAs, education investment accounts, stock option programs, and whatever else has been approved by the IRS for long-term financial accumulation. Begin today to put away 10% of your income. Set up a special account for this purpose and treat your contributions with the same respect that you do your rent or mortgage payments each month. You never miss them. If you're in debt today and 10% is too much for you, start by saving 1% of your income and living on the other 99%. When you become comfortable living on 99% of your income, increase your savings rate to 2%. Over time, work the rate up to 10, 15, and even 20% of your income, and your financial future is guaranteed. Law number 11 of the laws of money is the law of conservation. This law says that it's not how much you make, but how much you keep that determines your financial future. Many people make a lot of money in the course of their working lifetimes. Sometimes during boom periods, people greatly exceed their expectations and make more money than they ever thought possible. The true measure of how well you are really doing is how much you keep out of the amount that you earn. Successful people are fastidious about putting away chunks of money regularly and paying down debt during prosperous times so that they have reserves set aside when the economy or business turns downward. Calculate your true net worth as of today. Make a list of all your assets and value them at the amounts you could actually get for them if you had to turn them into cash quickly. Add up all your bills, credit card balances, and mortgages, and then subtract them from your assets to get your net dollar worth today. Now divide the number of years you have been working into your net worth. The result is the net amount you have actually earned each year after your costs of living. So here's the question. Are you happy with it? If you're not happy with how much you've earned each year since you started working, how much you've kept, start today to do something about it. Start today to do something different. Law number 12 is called Parkinson's Law. This law says that expenses rise to meet income. Parkinson's Law is one of the best known and the most important laws of money and wealth accumulation. It was first formulated by English writer C. Northcote Parkinson many years ago, and it explains why most people retire poor. This law says that no matter how much money people earn, they tend to spend the entire amount and a little bit more besides. Their expenses rise in lockstep with their incomes. Many people are earning today several times what they were earning at their first jobs. But somehow, they seem to need every single penny to maintain their current lifestyles. No matter how much they make, there never seems to be enough. The first corollary of Parkinson's Law says, financial independence comes from violating Parkinson's Law. It is only when you develop sufficient willpower to resist the powerful urge to spend everything you make that you begin to accumulate money and move ahead of the crowd. The second corollary of Parkinson's Law is this. If you allow your expenses to increase at a slower rate then your income increases, and you save or invest the difference, you will become financially independent in your working lifetime. This is the key. I call it the wedge. If you can drive a wedge between your increasing earnings and the increasing costs of your lifestyle, and then save and invest the difference, you can continue to improve your lifestyle as you make more money. By consciously violating Parkinson's law, you will eventually become financially independent. From this point onward, resolve to save and invest 50% of any increase you receive in your income from any source. Learn to live on the rest. Save 50% of any amount that you receive from any source whatsoever. This still leaves you the other 50% to do with as you desire. Number 13, the law of three. This law says that there are three legs to the stool of financial freedom: savings, insurance, and investment. One of your major responsibilities to yourself and to the people who depend on you is to build a financial fortress around yourself over time. Your job is to create an estate within which you can be safe from the financial insecurities experienced by most people. To achieve this goal, you need to maintain the correct proportions of your finances in each of these three: savings, insurance, and investment. The first corollary of the law of three says that to be fully protected against the unexpected, you require liquid savings equal to 2 to 6 months of normal expenses. Your first financial goal is to save enough money so that if you lost your source of income for up to 6 months, you would have enough put aside to carry you over. The very act of saving this amount of money and putting it into a high-yielding savings account or a money market account will give you a tremendous sense of confidence and inner peace. Knowing that you have this money put away will make you a far more effective human being than you would be if you were worried about your next paycheck or your next bag of groceries. The second corollary of the law of three says that you must insure adequately to provide against any emergency that you cannot pay for out of your bank account. Always carry sufficient insurance to protect yourself against an emergency that you cannot write a check to cover. Carry sufficient health insurance to provide for yourself and others in any medical emergency. Insure your car for liability and collision. Insure your life so that if something unfortunate happens to you, the people who are counting on you will be provided for. Perhaps the deepest need or craving of human nature is the desire for security, and without adequate insurance, you are taking risks that you simply cannot afford. The third corollary of this law says that your ultimate financial goal should be to accumulate capital until your investments are paying you more than you can earn on your job. Your life is divided into roughly 3 parts, although these 3 parts tend to overlap. First, there are your learning years, where you grow up and get your education. Then there are your earning years, from approximately 20 to age 65. Finally come your yearning years, when you can retire with the average life expectancy today approaching 80 years and rising. The simplest and most effective of all financial strategies is for you to save and invest your money throughout your working lifetime until your investments are paying you more than you can earn on your job. At that point, you can begin to phase out of your regular job and spend more and more of your time managing your assets. This seems like a very simple lifetime planning strategy, but it's remarkable how few people follow it and how many people end up at the age of 65 with very little put aside. The average retired American today has a total net worth of approximately $31,000 plus their Social Security income. Don't let this happen to you. Law number 14 is called the law of investing. It says that you should investigate before you invest. This is one of the most important of all the laws of money. It says that you should spend at least as much time studying a particular investment as you do earning the money to put into that particular investment. Never let yourself be rushed into parting with money. You have worked too hard to earn it and taken too long to accumulate it. Investigate every aspect of the investment well before you make any commitment. Ask for full and complete disclosure of every detail. Demand honest, accurate, and adequate information on any investment of any kind. If you have any doubts or misgivings at all, you will probably be better off keeping your money in the bank or in a money market investment account than you would be speculating or taking the risk of losing it. The first corollary of the law of investing is that the only thing easy about money is losing it. It's hard to make money in a competitive market, but losing it is one of the easiest things you can ever do. A Japanese proverb says, "Making money is like digging with a nail, while losing money is like pouring water on the sand." The second corollary of this law comes from self-made billionaire Marvin Davis, who was asked about his rules for making money in an interview in Forbes magazine. He said that he has one simple rule, and it is this: don't lose money. He said that if there is a possibility that you will lose your money, don't part with it in the first place. This principle is so important that you should write it down and put it where you can see it. Read it and reread it over and over again. Think of your money as if it were a piece of your life. You have to exchange a certain number of hours, weeks, and even years of your time in order to generate a certain amount of money for savings or investment. That time is irreplaceable. It is a part of your precious life that is gone forever. If all you do is hold on to the money rather than losing it, that alone can assure that you achieve financial security. Remember, don't lose money. The third corollary of the law of investing says, if you think you can afford to lose a little, you're probably going to end up losing a lot. There's something about the attitude of a person who feels that he has enough money that he can afford to risk losing a little. You remember the old saying, "A fool and his money are soon parted." Well, there's another saying that goes, when a man with experience meets a man with money, the man with the money is going to end up with the experience, and the man with the experience is going to end up with the money. Always ask yourself what would happen if you lost 100% of a prospective investment. Could you handle that? If you could not, don't make the investment in the first place. The fourth corollary of the law of investing says, only invest with experts who have a proven track record of success with their own money. Your aim is to invest only with people who have such a successful track record with money that your risk is dramatically diminished. Don't lose money. If ever you feel tempted, refer back to this rule and resolve to hold on to what you have. Invest only in things that you fully understand and believe in. Take investment advice only from people who are financially successful from taking their own advice. Law number 15 is the law of compound interest. This law says that investing your money carefully and allowing it to grow at compound interest will eventually make you rich. Compound interest is considered to be one of the greatest miracles of all of human history and economics. Albert Einstein described it as the most powerful force in our society. When you let money accumulate at compound interest over a long enough period of time, it increases more than you can imagine. You can use the rule of 72 to determine how long it would take for your money to double at any rate of interest. You simply divide the interest rate into the number 72. For example, if you are receiving 8% interest on your investment, and you divided the number 72 by 8, you would get the number 9. This means that it would take you 9 years to double your money at 8% interest. It has been estimated that $1 invested at 3% interest at the time of Christ would be worth half the money in the world today. If the money had been allowed to grow and then double again, and then again and again and again, it would be worth many billions or trillions of dollars today. The first corollary of this law says, the key to compound interest is to put the money away and never touch it. Once you begin accumulating money and it begins to grow, you must never touch it or spend it for any reason. If you do, you lose the power of compound interest, and though you spend only a small amount today, you will be giving up what could be an enormous amount later on. If you start early enough, invest consistently enough, never draw on your funds, and rely on the miracle of compound interest, it will make you rich. An average person earning an average income who invested $100 per month from age 21 to age 65 and who earned a compounded rate of 10% over that time would retire with a net worth of more than $1 million. Begin a regular monthly investment account and commit yourself to investing a fixed amount for the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. Select a company with a family of mutual funds and investment instruments and keep your money working month after month and year after year. Law number 16 is the law of accumulation. This law says that every great financial achievement is an accumulation of hundreds of small efforts and sacrifices that no one ever sees or appreciates. The achievement of financial independence will require a tremendous number of small efforts on your part. To begin the process of accumulation, you must be disciplined and persistent. You must keep at it for a long, long time. Initially, you will see very little change or difference, but gradually your efforts will begin to bear fruit. You'll begin to pull ahead of your peers. Your finances will improve, and your debts will disappear. Your bank account will grow, and your whole life will improve. The first corollary of the law of accumulation says that as your savings accumulate, you develop a momentum that moves you more rapidly toward your financial goals. It's hard to get started on a program of financial accumulation, but once you do get started, you find it easier and easier to keep at it. The momentum principle is one of the great success secrets. This principle says that it takes tremendous energy to overcome the initial inertia and resistance to financial accumulation and get started, but once started, it takes much less energy to keep moving. The second corollary of the law of accumulation says, by the yard it's hard, but inch by inch, anything's a cinch. When you first begin thinking about saving 10 or 20% of your income, you'll immediately think of all kinds of reasons why it's not possible. You may be up to your neck in debt. You may be spending every single penny that you earn just to keep afloat. However, if you find yourself in this situation, there is a solution. Begin saving just 1% of your income in a special account, which you refuse to touch. Begin putting your change into a large jar every evening when you come home. When this jar is full, take it to the bank and add it to your savings account. Whenever you get an extra sum of money from selling something, or an old debt is repaid, or a bonus comes unexpectedly, instead of spending it, put it into your special account. These small amounts will begin to add up at a rate that will surprise you. As you become comfortable with saving 1%, increase it to 2%, then 3%, then 4%, and 5%, and so on. Within a year, you'll find yourself getting out of debt and saving 10%, 15%, and even 20% of your income without it really affecting your lifestyle. Law number 17 is the law of magnetism. This law says that the more money you save and accumulate, the more money you attract into your life. The law of magnetism has been a primary reason for wealth building throughout history. This law explains much of success and failure in every area of life, especially in the financial arena. Money goes where it is loved and respected. The more positive emotions you associate with your money, the more opportunities you will attract to acquire even more. The first corollary of the law of magnetism as it applies to money is that a prosperity consciousness attracts money like iron filings to a magnet. This is why it is so important for you to start accumulating money, no matter what your situation. Put just a few coins into a piggy bank. Begin saving even a small quantity of money. That money, magnetized by your emotions of desire and hope, will begin to attract more money to you faster than you can imagine. The second corollary of the law of magnetism says, it takes money to make money. As you begin accumulating money, you begin to attract more money and more opportunities to earn more money into your life. This is why it is so important that you start, even with a small amount. You will be amazed at what starts to happen. Take time every day, every week, and every month to reflect on your financial situation and look for ways to deploy your finances more intelligently. The more time you take to think intelligently about your finances, the better decisions you will make and the more money you'll have to think about. And the more you think about your savings and investments, the more of them you'll attract into your life. Law number 18 is called the law of accelerating acceleration. This law says that the faster you move toward financial freedom, the faster it moves toward you. The more money you accumulate and the more success you achieve, the more and faster money and success seems to move towards you from a variety of different directions. Everyone who is financially successful today has had the experience of working extremely hard, sometimes for years, before they got their first real opportunity. But after that, more and more opportunities flowed to them from all directions. The major problem most successful people have is sorting out the opportunities that seem to come at them from everywhere. And it will be the same for you soon enough. The first corollary of the law of accelerating acceleration says, fully 80% of your success will come in the last 20% of the time that you invest or put in. This is a remarkable discovery. Just think, you'll achieve only about 20% of the total success possible for you in the first 80% of the time and money that you invest in an enterprise, a career, or a project. You'll achieve the other 80% in the last 20% of the time and money that you invest. Peter Lynch, the former manager of the Magellan Mutual Fund, one of the most successful mutual funds in history, said that the best investments he ever made were those that took a long time to come to fruition. He would often buy the stock of a company that did not increase in value for several years. Then it would take off and go up 10 or 20 times in price. This strategy of picking stocks for the long term eventually made him one of the most successful and highest paid money managers in America. Number 19 is the law of the stock market. This law says that the value of a stock is the total anticipated cash flow from that stock discounted to the present day. What this means is that a share of stock represents a share of the ownership of the company. This share entitles the owner of the share to all the benefits and risks of ownership, including profits, losses, as stock increases, declines in value, good or poor management, and increasing or decreasing demands for the products or services produced and sold by the company. When you buy a stock, you are investing a certain sum of money, and betting that your return will be in excess of what you could earn in a guaranteed investment, such as a bond or a money market fund. Purchasing a stock is a form of gambling because the future of the company and the value of the stock are both unpredictable. They are determined by countless market forces such as sales, competition, technological change, interest rates, quality of management, world events, weather, and many other things. The first corollary of the law of the stock market is bulls make money and bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. This means that people who invest aggressively when the market is rising make money. People who sell short and protect themselves when the market is declining make money. But greedy people who try to make a killing in the market almost always lose money. More than 70% of day traders, people who move in and out of the market completely one day at a time, lose money, and many of them lose everything. The second corollary of the law of the stock market is that long-term investing in the American stock market is the best way to achieve long-term financial security. The value of stocks traded on the U.S. markets has increased an average of 11% over the past 80 years. As a result, a person who began investing at the age of 20 and who invested $100 per month in a mutual fund that increased an average of 10% per year would retire with a net worth of more than $1 million. The third corollary of this law is that dollar cost averaging in the long run will make you rich. What this corollary means is really that there is no such thing as market timing. It is virtually impossible for you or anyone to consistently buy stocks when the prices are low and sell them when the prices are high. It's always better to buy the stocks of good, solid companies selling valued and respected products and services, and then hold those stocks for the long run. Corollary number 4 says, the stock market is managed and made by professionals. This means that every purchase of a stock represents the sale of that same stock by someone else. The person purchasing the stock is betting that the stock will increase in price. The person selling the stock is betting that the stock will decline in price. Every stock purchase and sale is therefore a zero-sum game at that moment, with one person betting his wisdom and judgment against that of another person. Most of these people are professionals who do this for 50 to 60 hours every week. This means that your safest course of action is to invest in an index fund that represents all of the stocks in that index and which goes up or down based on the average trend of the entire market. The most popular index fund is based on the Standard & Poor's 500. This index fund has consistently outperformed more than 80% of professionally managed mutual funds over the years. The 20th law of money is the law of real estate. This law says that the value of a piece of real estate is the future earning power of that particular piece of property. The value of any piece of property is determined by the income that can be generated by that property when it is developed to its highest and best use from this moment onward in time into the future. A piece of property may have sentimental value to a particular owner, but its dollar value is directly related to its future earning power. There are millions of acres of land that will never have any real value, like desert land, for instance, that has no future earning power. It cannot be developed to produce income, to provide accommodation, or to satisfy any particular human need. There are vast areas of many large cities where property values are declining because growth and development have come and gone, and will probably not return. Every day, men and women are selling homes and properties at less than they paid for them, or losing them to foreclosure, because these properties have declined in earning power, in attractiveness, and therefore in value. The first corollary of real estate is You make your money when you buy real estate, and you realize it when you sell. This is very important. It is by purchasing a piece of property at the right price and under the right terms that enables you to sell it at a profit later. Many people think that they will make their money when they sell the property, irrespective of how they purchased the property or at what price. This is getting the cart before the horse. The more carefully you investigate a piece of property, and the more thoroughly you prepare a purchase offer, the more likely it is that you will get the kind of deal that will enable you to sell that property at a profit later on. The second corollary of the law of real estate is this. The three keys to real estate selection are location, location, and location. Each piece of property is unique in that there is only one piece of property like that on the Earth's surface. Your ability to choose a piece of property in an excellent location will have more of an impact on the future earning power of that property than almost any other decision that you can make. The third corollary of the law of real estate is this. Real estate values are largely determined by general economic activity in the area and by the number of jobs and the level of wages. This is very important when you are selecting a neighborhood or a community in which to invest. Generally speaking, property increases at 3 times the level of population growth and 2 times the rate of inflation. When you purchase property in a fast-growing community, you are virtually assured of above-average increases in value. For example, today in Santa Clara, in around Silicon Valley, because of the incredible explosion of employment in high-tech, high-paying businesses, real estate values have increased 5 and 10 times over what they were a few years ago. The most important factors affecting the value of real estate in any area are the level of new business formation and economic growth in the surrounding area. Make a decision today to purchase a piece of real estate for investment purposes. The only way you can learn about real estate investing is by actually becoming an owner, and then by putting your knowledge and skills to work to increase the value of that piece of property. And law number 21 in the laws of money is the law of the Internet. This law says that the Internet is a tool for rapid communication of information of all kinds. The entire technological revolution involving the Internet has a single focus. It is to increase the speed and reliability at which vital information is transmitted between and among interested parties. Every single technological advance or improvement with the Internet is a way of increasing the speed at which this communication takes place. The first corollary of the law of the Internet is that the 3 keys to Internet success are faster, cheaper, easier. Today, as never before, people are in a hurry. At the same time, everyone wants to get what they want at the lowest possible price, as easily as possible, and with the greatest convenience. Successful Internet companies are those that offer products and services faster, cheaper, and easier to acquire than their competitors. All 3 must exist for an Internet company to survive and thrive. The second corollary of the law of the Internet is that the value of an Internet company is in direct proportion to the value of the information it provides. The greater the immediate financial or personal impact of the products, services, and information an Internet company provides to its customers, the greater is the value of that company. There are many Internet companies that offer information, products, and services that are of limited interest and value, and then only to a small number of potential buyers and sellers. The third corollary of the law of the Internet is that the only real value of information is what people are willing to pay for it. The primary use of the Internet today is to quickly find information on a variety of subjects. For this reason, and because so many Internet sites offer free information, it's extremely hard to sell information on the Internet. In fact, Because competition on the internet is so fierce, companies must give away enormous amounts of information just to get visitors to the site who may be interested in purchasing a product or service. The only thing you get for free services is demand for more free services. The fourth corollary of the law of the internet is that it is only by selling sufficient products and services at a profit that an internet company can survive. In the final analysis, an internet company has to sell a product or service at a profit and return a dividend to its shareholders. Because of the competition amongst millions of internet companies today, it is costing as much as $250 to acquire a single customer for a single purchase. It may take a company several purchases from the same customer before it's able to recoup its costs of acquiring the customer in the first place. By that time, the internet company may be out of cash and out of business. Well, let me summarize these laws of money with the 4 keys to success with money for the rest of your life. First, earn as much as you possibly can. Do everything possible to excel in your field so that you are paid extremely well for what you do. The second key to money is for you to hold on to as much as you possibly can. Remember, it's not the amount that you make, but the amount that you keep that counts in the long run. Resist the natural tendency of most people to throw their money around, to spend it impulsively and end up broke every month, no matter how much they earn. Don't let this happen to you. The third key to money is for you to reduce and control your costs of living. Look for every opportunity to practice frugality in everything you do. Buy less expensive items. Put off important buying decisions for a day, a week, or even a month, so that when you finally do make the decision, it's a good one. All wealthy people are very careful with their money and their expenditures. That's how they became wealthy. Finally, the fourth key to money is for you to invest it carefully and make it grow as rapidly as you can. Because of the miracle of compound interest, combined with dollar cost averaging, you can become wealthy in a few years by saving and investing 10 to 20% of your income every single month off the top as you go along. This is a wonderful time to be alive. It's never been more possible for you to make more, save more, accumulate more, and grow your money faster than it is today. Your job is to take full advantage of the wide range of opportunities that are available to you. Your job is to apply these laws to fulfill your financial destiny and become wealthy in your working lifetime. Good luck. Thank you for listening to this program. If you are really serious about becoming a self-made millionaire, the next step is for you to put these ideas into action. I've put together a special program for you that has already created self-made millionaires across America and Canada and throughout the world. I've now upgraded and refined this program and designed it with a step-by-step process that you can begin using immediately to put your financial life onto the fast track. It's called the Millionaire Maker Seminar Program. In this 2-day program, you work with me and others to put together a financial blueprint that you can follow to achieve financial independence in the months and years ahead. You learn the very best methods and strategies that you can use to go from zero to $1 million in a few years. We give this program here in San Diego on a regular basis. You can get the complete schedule and registration information on my website at briantracy.com. As it happens, there are many people who cannot travel to San Diego for this program. So to get you started immediately, we have created a home study program made up of audio programs, video programs, workbooks, personal planning blueprints, an advanced goal planner, and a 1-year subscription to my Financial Success newsletter. You also receive a $250 scholarship certificate that you can use at any time to attend the live 2-day program. The total value of this home study program is more than $800, but it's available to you at my website if you act now for only $295. This program is unconditionally guaranteed to you for 1 year. This means that you can take the program, listen, learn, and try out the ideas, and if for any reason you're not satisfied, you can send it back for a full refund. Many people have become self-made millionaires by applying just one part of this complete program to their life and work. When you take and apply this program to everything you do, you will increase your income, cut your costs, pay off your debts, and begin moving rapidly toward financial independence. Experts say that there are going to be another 10 million self-made millionaires in America in the next few years. Most of these people are broke or deeply in debt today. But these new self-made millionaires are going to learn what they need to learn to achieve what they need to achieve. Your job is to be one of them. Your job is to aggressively go after the things you want in life. Don't wait for them to come to you, because they never will. Please visit me at my website, briantracy.com, and get the Millionaire Maker Home Study Program today. Check out my other audio and video programs. Come to my live seminar here in San Diego if you can, and if you qualify, come to my advanced coaching program and learn how to transform your life far faster than you can even imagine. If you have any questions, log on to briantracy.com and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you for listening, and good luck.